Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Inhabit Mars channel. It's been quite a while since I've posted a video, and normally I would not take this long, but it has been extremely busy at work, and I just have not had much time to do much modeling. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that I haven't done anything. It just uh, I have been working on a couple of things, and this model that I'm going to show you, I've done about 4 times. Now, John Ward actually posted a great update to this. Neville Thompson had made new Gigapans, and what I think, if I remember correctly, I'm sorry about the screaming in the background. That's my kids. They're getting a little excited right now. It's almost bedtime. So Neville Thompson had, if I understood this right and remember this right, he had actually taken images from several days of the Curiosity rover, taking these panoramic images and kind of put them together and really cleaned them up. This last set of images was really good. The guy is just I call him the god of Gigapans, because between him and Neil Spence and really Joe White also, if you ever checked out his stuff, the work that they do is just phenomenal with this stuff. And this is a part of Neville Thompson's Gigapan right here, and we're going to focus on this area. A lot of people talked about this area, and this structure, what people believe to be a structure, is really it really interested me. And with this new set of images that Neville Thompson was able to make a Gigapan from, it just came out so clear. So I'm going to try to keep these videos really short now, and we may do more sections of this, but we're just going to focus on this section right here, just because this has a lot of stuff in it. So without further ado, let me get into Blender Live. So here we are in Blender Live, and I'm just going to kind of slide this down out of the way here a little bit. This is the same scene right here in Blender, and this is a flat panel now, and then I'll show you on the model. A lot of people believed this was a structure right here. Can you see my cursor? I made it a little bigger. Maybe that'll be a little easier to see. I hope so. Hey, keep it down, sweetie. I'm trying to make a video. Okay, this is what I want to talk about, and I'll show you more in the model. I really believe this is a structure, because with this great cleanup that Neville Thompson did, you can actually see pieces of very symmetrical geometry back here that really looks like platforms. And we're going to get into that. I actually have this in the model itself. We're going to get into that too, and I'm going to really try to keep this short. So let's start up here. Now, I wasn't obviously able to model everything because there's just so much to model. And I meant to bring in an image of Proveen's work that he did, and I'm gonna show you where I tie in Proveen Mohan and his work into this, because I believe that the same people that built these structures on Mars were probably the same ones who built a lot of our ancient structures here. Okay, so here's what I've got to why I believe that this is an actual structure. And I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to show you in the model in a minute. Can you see these 3 huge pieces coming out? And this third one may not be, but these 2 definitely, they even have the same shape. These look like some sort of support rafters or support beams for this roof right here. And if you look on this side, you can actually see pieces of those along this roof on this back side. Okay, there's 4 more that we can see protruding out on this side. All right. And not only that, but you obviously also have the shape of it. You can see that this roof slants off. And let's go ahead. I hate to jump back and forth, but I'm going to go ahead and jump into our model here so we can see this. Now, I didn't model everything. In this Gigapan, the top of the hill was actually cut off, so all I did really was just create a plane and then bend it up and then apply the texture to that part. All right, because it is really off in the distance back there, and we'd have to get with the real Jimmy Roberts to see what the distance to that back mountain would be, because he's really good at taking the data and calculating the distances, and he does a pretty accurate job. Okay, so here we are. This is our, if I can click on it, this is our building right here. All right, and these are those rafters sticking out right here, and I made them out of wood. I have no idea if they're wood. I would imagine they would be. We have seen what looks like decayed wood on Mars, and that's what these things reminding me of, is some sort of wood. And I'm really watching my times. I'm going to try to keep these videos short, like I say, because I want to be able to get these up to Odyssey. Chris mentioned Odyssey, and he kind of turned me on to it, and then I found out my videos were too long. Now, I didn't put rafters on this side. I should have. If I would have had time to go back and finish this model properly, I would have put those on there. All right, but we see those beams, 2 on this side, and we can see at least 4 on this side. But this is the basic shape of that structure. And I just want to show you on this back side, we have what looks like, and it goes into this rock face here, which is going to be a little bit blurry because the texture stretched this way to try to make it fit the model. But this is what we can see. And this is pretty interesting. This top part of the structure, hold on, sweetie, I'm recording, seems to be like a reddish rock on top. It had a little bit more reddish tint to it. And then you had these, and I wish, how can I, I won't be able to rotate around it. I'm going to have to zoom out to rotate and then zoom back in. But you kind of see, and it has this dirt filling it on the inside, and I'll go back to the image in a minute. I just want to show you what those really look like. I should have left those as separate objects so I could rotate around them. But there you go. All right, and that's kind of what they look like. So let's go back to our panel, just because I got to show you the stuff in the panel real quick, and then we're going to go over to the model. Now, there were several things in here that caught my interest. The first ones were all these cut stones back here that had some really, what is Dave Gannett over at Mars X3D calls them non-fractals. All right, and I'm going to show you these, and thanks to Neville Thompson's Gigapan, we're actually able to see these. So here's that first one, and you can see that shape, and you can see there's actually a rock standing up vertical next to it. Now, this is kind of what that looks like right here. All right, and that's the shape of that one. All right, and then we have this next one. Okay, and oops, there we go, and then let's move that one down and out of the way. And several people have talked about this one because it seems to have these notches cut in the front and kind of a rounded shape to the back, and this is what that one seems to look like. All right, and that's kind of the shape that that one has. All right, so we have that one. All right, this one here was really interesting. I'm going to have to move both of these stones out of the way. Okay, there you go. So there it is in the image. It's a little blurry. Let me not get in so close. And this is kind of the shape it has. You can see some of the detail in it. So that's that one there. Oh, it's already 10 minutes. Look at that. Time flies, huh? Let's move this one out of the way. Now this one seems to have a groove cut here, and then a beveled edge here, and then it comes down and it slopes a little bit, and you can see that it's right here. All right. Now this one a lot of people mention too. Okay, and it seems to have the slot cut out in the middle. It's very flat on the front, on both sides, I believe, and it seems to have that shape there. So that's that stone. All right, this one was very interesting too. And these are all sitting in front of that building. I'm going to show you where they're sitting when we get over to the 3D model. But here's this one. Take a look at this one. This one has this grooved top right here that is extruded upward. Okay, it slants off to the left. Let me get back where you can see it in the image. All right, and it has some other details I could not really make out, and it even seems to be slotted here, and I couldn't really make it out enough to tell for sure. But you can see the basic shape of it. Then we get to this one here. Now, there's a really interesting rock for you. Take a look at the shape of that. All right, and this one has a reddish tint once again. And this is kind of the shape that this one has. All right. You can see that here. But that's a really interesting rock. And I believe these are all carved stones. These seem to be manufactured for some purpose. And if they're not stoned, and they were just a stone texture applied to them in the image. All right, we've got this one here. This is the basic shape of that one. All right. All right, now let's get to some of these that are in the front. Now, those are all back there, and those aren't the only thing. Obviously, as you can, oh, I almost forgot this one too. You can see more of these carved stones, and it just, this is taking enough time with work and everything. This one really interested me, and it's got some sort of structure around it. Let's move that out of the way. Can you see that? That is an interesting shape. There is no way I could see that that would be carved by wind erosion or water. So let's see what that one looks like. This is very interesting. That's what the shape of that seems to have. Excuse me. All right. Look at that. 13 and a half minutes already. There's no way I'm going to make it by 15 minutes. Huh? But you can see it's actually sitting on this platform. And I was trying to get all the detail out of the platform. Because I can tell on this end it seems to go up and then back and then across. And once again, time was the main factor. This was the first rock I started with, by the way. Very evident rock. And really cool looking. I'm not sure if that one is carved or it was maybe going to be carved. But it's a pretty good size rock, and it seems to be round at the front. So I don't know if that one was supposed to be carved already or what the situation was with that one. But it's a pretty good size rock, and it is sitting in front of this structure right here. All right, let's see. Where do we want to go? Here's another one of those horseshoe-shaped objects here. There was one back there by the structure. And then here's another one. And this one's kind of buried into this little hill right here. Okay, it's either a hill or it's a platform, and it was like 50-50 on whether that was a platform that just had dirt covering. Because if I back out, you can see 90-degree corner here, And there's probably one there, but I can't tell because it's covered with dirt. But then you come over here, and you can see where it comes. It makes a 90-degree turn there, and a 90-degree turn there. And then there seems to be more of this platform that actually extends out, but it's actually set down, and some objects in it. So that one was, I don't know if that is an actual platform or what, but, you know, who knows. Okay, this one really interested me. I liked this one. Now, look at that in the image, and it's a little bit darker, but you can see the shape. This is either octagonal going around, because it does seem to be flat, 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 or it could just be, from the low res of the image, this could actually be round. Okay? But then you can definitely see it is octagonal here. There's one that goes across here, 2, 3 sides, a fourth, there'd be a fifth under it, and then the 3 sides on the other side. So this is what I believe that this object looks. Oh, and by the way, the bottom is actually beveled almost into a roundish corner. Let me just show you. I went too far. There we go. All right. That is the shape that that one seems to have. Okay. I knew I wasn't going to make it by 15 minutes. I'm already at 16. Okay, I'll just have to make some short clips for Odyssey, because if I go over somewhere around 20 minutes, it will not upload to Odyssey. Most of my videos are too long. All right, I want to show you this. Now, if this doesn't look like decayed wood on Mars, I don't know what does. Let me show you. Right here where the light is really hitting it, and it's a little blurry like that, you can see this looks like rotted wood going across here. I don't know what this is, a Martian gun rack or something you put in your car or mount against your wall. I don't know. But it definitely looks like wood, and you can see this brace piece going across, and you can see that these two pieces are parallel to each other. And there's more stuff in between. This could just be rock right here, and that could be a rock. But this, I don't think that's a rock. If that's a rock, that is one interesting rock. Alright, so this is the shape that it has. Alright. Let's turn off the lighting right now. Let's go to look dev mode. This will make it where it's not flashing like that. But there you go. This is what that looks like. That is that piece. And that is the shape that it has. Alright. Okay. Let's keep moving across here. Okay. This is the what I call the Martian cash register. Okay, sweetie, put that back in the refrigerator, please. She's grabbing my imitation crab meat. I love snacking on that stuff. This is what I call the Martian cash register. I don't know what this thing is. I have no idea. But if that is wind erosion, that's pretty darn good. You see these two half circle shapes right here on the front of it. It seems to go back, and it may even be curved in the back. It was hard to tell, but here, look at the inside wall of this. You have a box shape. It comes across parallel and then turns 90 degrees and goes down, comes across parallel, turns 90 degrees and goes down, and then it's got this raised up area right here and these walls around it. So this is the shape that this thing has. That thing was pretty cool. I call it the Martian cash register. I don't know what in the world it is. And if that's the Martian cash register, this is a Martian scale right here. Take a look at that thing. You'd probably stand on this end right here, and maybe that's the window for the where it tells you your weight. But that's a pretty interesting carved stone there. Too. All these stones are carved. I believe this is probably a stone manufacturing facility, like Proveen Mohan was talking about. He had a great video on that, and I was really interested in that. I think it was called Warangal Fort. Warangal Fort, and I was talking about how that was a stone manufacturing facility, and I'll put a link to his video in the description once this uploads tomorrow. I won't put it in tonight. Whenever it gets uploaded tonight, it's just going up, and then I'll get all the description typed out tomorrow, hopefully before work. Okay, so there was that one. And then there was a couple here, but these could just be rocks. I was on the fence about those. And then there was this one here. All these seem to be carved stone. I mean, look at the shape on this one, too. It's pretty interesting. And this is kind of what it looks like here. 21 minutes. So, there you go. And that's pretty much what that looks like. Okay, so hopefully I didn't miss anything. Let's go over to the model. Excuse me. And let's see where these things are actually placed in our scene. So here we are. This is the same scene. All I did was apply the texture to this portion. I had to cut it off and then splice the mountains, because these mountains are pretty far in the background, and I needed room to fit everything. And I'm sure anybody who knows anything about photography, that when you take a image from ground level, the closer you get to the ground, stuff that's in front of you is going to take up more of the image, and the farther you get back, it's going to kind of compress as it goes back. So the space in the back is compressed more than the stuff in the front. So as you get farther back, in fact, I had to split the plane, and then I just applied PBR material for our ground right here. But I just want to show you where everything is located in our image. Let's see if I can get above it. There we go. Get a good angle here. Okay, so here's our one piece right here. And it's sitting right there. And this is sitting on our ground. Alright, that's there. Then we have this piece here, this decayed wood, and it's a little bit stretched in our image just because of how I had to stretch the image out to well, parts of the front part is compressed just a little bit, and the farther you get back, it stretches just a little bit. Try not to do too much stretching because it does warp everything. And I'll get to the structure here in a minute. Here's our cash register, and it's located just a pretty good distance in front right there. Okay, you can see it underneath. Like I say, here's those rocks. And I'm not sure if those are carved or not, but it just looked like those were either not finished or just regular rocks. I mean, there's a lot of rocks on Mars, so there's this one here. And then there's our Martian scale. And you can see it right there. Once again, it's kind of compressed a little bit sideways, and all because everything's stretched more this way. But that's what it looks like. Okay, here's the structure. And once again, this is this is those rafter pieces, okay, that seem to support it. And I should have put the other 4 on this side, but I just want to show you this is what this structure looks like once again. And we definitely have some structures here. Okay, these seem to be round cylinders. And there's one up here, and then these walls. They're kind of intricate walls. They're stacked, and then there's actually the platform that the top piece sits on. And of course, we have no idea what the back side looks like. This is just taking the image, the texture from the front, and applying it to the back. But this is what I want to show you. This whole area that's in front of this is how these stones are arranged. And this is why I kind of think that this was a stone manufacturing facility like Proveen Mohan talked about. And I really wish I would have got the image brought in here. They're just laying everywhere, and each piece is intricately carved. It doesn't matter which one you look at. They're all intricately carved. So it's really, really cool. Like this one. Take a look at that. There's no way that's regular erosion cutting a V trough in it like that. And in the image, you know, it had that trough in it. This one, it's rounded. It's like it's on a base, and it's got this round cylinder here. Goodness, it's not that late. It's only like 9 o'clock at night, 9:15. And then, of course, this top was tilted, and then it's got these groove pieces. I mean, could that be wind erosion causing that? And if so, okay, you got this one, which is cool on its own, but this one, that was really, really cool in that image. So, I don't know. I don't think so. And this is right where Perseverance landed. It hadn't even moved when it started taking pictures of this. They set this rover down deliberately in this spot. They knew they were looking for stuff in this spot. They knew that there was stuff here they wanted to look at, and not just rocks and dirt and hills. They wanted to look at some of the technology and stuff that was on Mars. Excuse me. Goodness. Okay. So, I just want to show something here. I didn't completely waste my time. I've been learning a few new tricks in Blender, and I really wanted to get better at texturing, so I've been following a bunch of tutorials, and then I looked at I wanted to find a building here in El Paso that was very intricate and would have a lot of things to model. So what I did was I went to Google Maps, and I started looking at churches. Most churches have very, you know, intricate and elaborate architecture on them. And so I said, oh, okay, that would be cool. And to be able to, I want to learn to texture better. And of course, I want to improve my modeling. So I didn't completely waste my time this last couple of weeks. I did a lot of videos on modeling and texturing, and some of the new tools in Blender too, because now I have 2.91 or 2.92, I don't even remember. And now 2.93 is out, and there's even more updates, and I love Blender. My goodness, I wish we would have had this about 20 years ago when I was doing CGI modeling back then. So what I did was I found a cathedral here in El Paso. It's actually a Catholic cathedral, and it's St. Patrick's. And I started, first of all, just doing the basic modeling of everything. And it's not done, but I wanted to be able to figure out how to model this architecture and make it look really, really good. And then, of course, texturing is one of your biggest things for modeling. If you don't have good textures, your model's not going to look good. Now, these models aren't done. once again, but just to show you, I haven't been wasting my time this last couple of weeks. So I worked on this brick texture, and now it's an image from Texture Haven, but I wanted to add some stuff to this texture so that you could really see. So I've got some different things going on with the texture to really bump it up. And for a node tree setup, this is not very elaborate. I mean, I've seen people's node tree setups that, I mean, there's like hundreds of nodes on there, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Okay, I got to find the simplest way to do something. And so, just a quick thing. One of the things I did is, first of all, it's a black and white texture. So the first thing I did was added a color ramp and changed my white value to red, and then my black value to a gray, so I could get these different colors. All right, and then I took down the brightness a little bit and adjusted the contrast, you know, stuff like that. Well, to get some of this texture in here, I just added a bump node, and really didn't change the strength. I think the strength is already at 1, and just the distance between the bump. And I also added to my normals, I took the normal texture and ran that through a bump node, and between the two is just how I came up with this, and it's pretty cool. I think it's, well, if I don't mess up here, there we go. Let's look at it straight on. And when you get up close, it really does kind of look like brick, you know, until you get too close, and then it just starts breaking up a little bit. But there you go. So that was one thing. And then on this building, it had this kind of bluish tile-like stuff, and this is still not perfect. I still don't like the way it came out. But I'll work on that one a little bit. But the one I am kind of impressed with is on these towers. I'm trying to make this quick. It had this like green tile type stuff to it on these towers, so I thought that looked pretty cool, you know. So I found a roofing tile, and same thing on this one. Let's see, go to the right one. There's a green tile. Same thing. I just added a few different things to. In fact, I added a third color to my color wheel to try to bump up some of that black in there, if you can see it. I'm going to make this quick because I got to show you what we're going to work on for our next video. But yeah, I just added a third thing to the color ramp so I can bring out some of that black in it. And then my concrete. I've done concrete before on my videos, but that one's a little bit more intricate, but not too much. And but there you go. Just to show you, I haven't been wasting my time. I was really the one I focused on was the brick texture, obviously, and I just love that brick. That came out really good. So that's pretty good. This is the original image, and then that's what I came up with. All right, let's go to show you now. Okay, let's skip over here. So next week's video, yeah, 34 minutes. Well, what a surprise. We're going to look at this one that Chris posted just yesterday. I had another one I was going to do. Once again, work and everything that's been going on, have not been able to get another video out. And he just posted this one last night. I watched it late last night, and I was like, oh my goodness. Because in that, let me just show you the raw image first. This is the raw image. All right, and it was in black and white. And if you can see in that top right corner, this was sent to him by, I'm going to forget the name. Shoot. What was the name? Hang on. Why didn't I save their name? Oh, Martine Gramey, I think. Martine Gramey. That's right. Um, this was sent in by Martine Gramey. She was talking about the structure in the top right corner, and that was pretty interesting. And Chris, of course, with his phenomenal skills at bringing stuff out, he brought out some more stuff. Well, what caught my eye was, make sure I go to the right image here, was these two things right here. Okay, sitting in front of this structure, and I do believe this is definitely a structure, is are two objects. Okay, and I'm flipping Blender over to that so we can take a look at it. And oh, I thought I had this ready to go. These two objects, to me, the one on the right that I've circled, well, they're both circled in yellow, but the one that I circled that's on the right, that right there, I will tell you, looks like an APC, an armor personnel carrier. And I've got some images of APCs and stuff that I'm going to show. And why aren't you turned on? It is turned on. Where are you? Why don't I have you? Okay, so let me flip over to Blender here. Okay, so here's the first thing I did. Better do it without the sunlight. I haven't adjusted the sunlight yet. It was the first thing I did was I took the image and colorized it in Blender. Okay, and I started modeling the terrain. This is the same image here, the exact same image. The only thing I did was added some color, and I need to adjust it just a little bit. It looks like it should be a little bit brighter. Maybe take down the contrast a little bit. But you can see in this top corner this building. All right. And I really believe this is a building because I'm going to show you in the model when we get to this. This part of the roof right here is actually collapsed. Then there's these three. Can I move you out of the way? Grab on the X. No. Grab on the Y. I hate when I do models a different direction. Okay. You can see these three cone or either cone shape or pyramid shape pieces on top. But this part is collapsed. There seems to be a beam that goes across here, like this is some sort of fabric, or the roof is collapsing. You can barely make out vertical lines, okay? But you can see another piece of what looks like that beam back here, and maybe this piece might be another one. Could be just lines in the texture, but this one definitely looks like a beam because you can see where it comes all the way from the left and goes all the way over here to the right. All right, it kind of fades out here on the right, but it's there. All right, and then it probably better to show you on our panel. Oops. Oh, let me hide our structure. It looks awful right now because it's definitely not done. But I'm going to get in real close. Oh, it's here. I just dropped it down. I was going to say, why isn't my vehicle right there? I believe this is an APC, and I'll tell you why. It seems to have this slanted front. Okay. Well, let me bring this piece up so you can see while I'm pointing to it. Where are my tank treads? Oh, they're there. Okay. Just want to make sure you can see my treads since I modeled them. Okay. it seems to have, see these pieces right here? And then there's one more. It's harder to see, but those are right here. And we'll get into that when we get the closer to the model. There's this, and Chris pointed this out, this piece right here, and it's done, except I need that rectangular cross piece that's probably holding it on or something, because it's got a cut in the middle that goes somewhere right in here, and maybe that holds that. Maybe it's a pipe. Seems like it could be open. What you need a pipe hanging off the side of a vehicle for, but fueling or whatever, who knows. And then there's this piece. Ooh, you can't really see it, can you? Well, we'll get into that piece, but it's here basically. It's going to be hard to show you. Well, that's kind of what it looks like. It's on there. I know I'll see it here in a minute. Ah, there it is, right there. I knew I'd see it. That's that piece right there. Okay. These seem to be, there seems to be a track going across the bottom, and it curves up and around over here and comes back under this piece here and comes to the front. It's going to be hard to see, but I believe it comes to here and goes up. And so I went ahead and modeled that. And this is kind of what it looks like right here. All right, these are the cogs and stuff, and this would be the tank tread. But I believe that is some sort of vehicle, military vehicle, probably an armored personnel carrier. I put hatches on the back. I have no idea if it has a hatch on the back. But it does seem to have these slits on the front, the observation slits where you'd be able to see from inside looking forward. And we'll get into that more. Okay, I've taken enough time. Shoot. And then I haven't modeled this thing yet, but this, you can see it's got some structure to it. And I used a dodge tool to try to lighten this area, of course. You can kind of see that in my image here. But it seems to have a platform underneath it. You can kind of see that. There's even a piece that seems to stick out here. And then it has a post that probably goes up. I don't know if this is some sort of weapon system on a platform or what it is, but it's something on a platform. But it seems to have this post that goes up. It has another cover piece that goes across the top that's wider than the actual object itself. Wider than the actual vertical piece, I mean. And then maybe a gun or something that comes across here. I don't know what that is. But it seems to come horizontally kind of towards you, though. Alright, and you can see the tube right there, and it gets wider in the back. And there's some other objects. Hopefully, I can... I mean, I can't do much more cleanup than Chris from Mars Anomalies does. He does a fantastic job. I've tried cleaning it up more, thinking, oh, okay, well, he's already done the legwork. All I got to do is clean up a little more. The images just break up. You can't do anything. And I went back to the originals and did it. Just like this one, I went back to the original and tried to clean it up more. But, yeah, you can really see that, what looks like an APC. And like I said, these look like wheel cogs. Cogs, not wheel cogs, cogs underneath, and there even seems to be tread going around it. Hard to tell, and you can see my wonderful job dodging through the lighter areas and trying to burn through the, dodging through the darker areas and burning through the lighter areas, trying to adjust this so we could get some detail. But there you go. That's what we're going to work on our next video. Hopefully it don't take me 6 weeks to get it out this time. So, I hope you guys are doing good. Hope everybody's staying safe. Sadly, I just found out this last week, that was another thing that kind of got me down, was I found out a friend of mine who's same age as me, basically, just died from COVID. He got sick a couple of weeks before, and he came home, and then he wound up dying within the 2 weeks. I don't know if he had went to the hospital or what had happened, but he wound up dying. That just happened last week, I think. So my friend Greg told me about it. Thank you, Greg, for letting me know. So guys, keep it safe out there. Keep wearing those masks. I know here in Texas, you know, we're not required to wear the masks anymore in Texas, although most places you go still require you to. But our governor has said you don't have to wear them. But I highly suggest still wearing those masks and keeping yourself safe. So be careful out there. Take care of each other. And we'll see you on the next video.